Construction is the most resource-intensive industry. It consumes around 50% of all raw materials and accounts for roughly 40% of all greenhouse gas emissions. At the same time, sustainability is becoming increasingly important, which is why at Hilti, sustainability has been deeply anchored in what we do for the environment, people and society. This commitment has shaped the behavior of our company for decades. In line with our sustainability strategy, our first concrete CO2 target was to become CO2 neutral within our own operations by end of 2023. We are happy to share that we have achieved this first important milestone within the set timeframe. We managed to reduce 60% of our Scope 1 and 2 emissions compared to a do-nothing scenario since 2019. The remaining 40% of our CO2 emissions worldwide will be offset with exclusively for Hilti developed projects together with the Hilti Foundation and an external partner. How did we achieve this milestone of CO2 neutrality in our own operations? We focused on 4 steps. Our first and foremost priority was and still is to reduce energy consumption and thus CO2 emissions wherever possible. We are doing so by using new technologies, more efficient equipment and behavioral training, and by encouraging virtual meetings instead of taking business trips. We are constantly looking for possibilities to save energy in our plants, logistics centers and office buildings with modern heating and cooling or state-of-the-art lighting systems. In areas where reducing energy consumption is not feasible, we replace fossil-based energy sources by more sustainable alternatives. Roughly 2/3 of our Hilti team members work in the field. The vehicles they drive are the most significant source of CO2 within our own operations. Since 2020, we are consequently shifting the Hilti vehicle fleet from gasoline and diesel engines to electric drives or full hybrid vehicles. By the end of 2023, we have converted close to 50% of the more than 15,000 cars we drive. This transition will progress in the years to come. Another major lever is our electricity supply. Since 2020, we are relying on 100% green electricity worldwide, either through purchase or generated by our own photovoltaic systems. We purchase high-quality green electricity certificates according to the highest standards by EcoEnergy and Green E. This allows us to support the expansion of renewable power plants. Our green electricity sourcing also includes the charging of Hilti vehicles at our company premises or at home. We are investing heavily in the expansion of our own photovoltaic installations. In 2023, we have doubled our photovoltaic generation capacity worldwide to more than 9,000 megawatt-hours for the 3rd year in a row. We continuously examine if more roofs on our buildings could be equipped with photovoltaic systems. Saving energy and using alternative energy sources has supported us significantly in reducing CO2 emissions. To close the gap to zero emissions within our own operations, we are compensating the remaining 40% of our CO2 emissions with alternative CO2 savings. In cooperation with the Hilti Foundation and climate partner, an experienced external agency, we have developed exclusive compensation projects designed to ensure effectiveness, credibility, and real social impact. The projects have been successfully implemented and the CO2 savings are being monitored and verified by external parties, resulting in the issuance of CO2 offset certificates. All our projects undergo third-party verification, which is conducted in accordance with either the gold standard or the Verra verified carbon standard for offsetting projects. The Clean Cookstove project in Kenya replaces open fires and inefficient cooking facilities with modern and clean cookstoves for rural households. This reduces energy consumption, CO2 emissions, and indoor air pollution from smoke. The project distributes about 33,000 stoves that offset roughly 90,000 tons of CO2 per year. It also creates social benefits by saving costs, creating jobs, and improving health for families. The Biogas Project in Madhya Pradesh, India, provides biogas digesters and cookstoves for families, using locally collected organic waste. This saves firewood and other heating fuels and reduces CO2 emissions by around 30,000 tons per year. The project connects more than 8,000 houses with digesters. It also creates social benefits by generating jobs, improving health and livelihoods, and reducing deforestation. Reaching CO2 neutrality within our own operations only marks a first milestone. We know that the real challenge will be to reduce the CO2 emissions which are generated along our end-to-end value chain. These emissions are causing roughly 95% of our total emissions. In 2022, we have committed to the Science Based Targets initiative, which engages companies worldwide to significantly reduce their total carbon footprint. With this commitment, we have already embarked on the next step of our CO2 reduction journey, our path to net zero by 2050. This ambition and the derived initiatives will support our customers' sustainability goals and enable us to drive the much-needed transformation of our industry. We know this commitment is extremely challenging and requires innovation beyond what we can imagine today. Join us in making construction better by driving innovative, sustainable solutions together, now.